Hello everyone, and welcome. I'm delighted to have you here today. My name is Dr. S.K. Singh, and I hold a PhD in this field. Today, we'll be discussing how to identify fake herbal raw materials. This is an important topic for quality control and ensuring safety. Throughout this presentation, we'll cover key indicators and techniques to help you distinguish genuine herbs from counterfeit ones. So, let's get started and explore how we can protect ourselves and our industry from fake herbal materials. Let's start by understanding why authentic herbal raw materials are so crucial. They form the very foundation of safe and effective herbal medicines that we rely on. As demand for herbal products grows worldwide, unfortunately, we've also seen an increase in issues like adulteration, substitution, and even counterfeiting. This means that not all products in the market are genuine or of the quality we expect. Using fake or substandard raw materials can seriously compromise the safety of the final product, affect its efficacy, and even lead to regulatory problems. That's why regulatory authorities are putting a strong emphasis on authentication and traceability throughout the entire supply chain. Our key objective here is clear. We need to ensure that every raw material used in manufacturing is authentic, pure, safe, and of the highest quality. This focus not only protects consumers, but also upholds the integrity of the herbal medicine industry as a whole. Let's talk about what fake herbal raw materials are. Essentially, these are materials that are not genuine or authentic. They can take several forms. For example, we have adulterated materials, which means the original herb has been mixed with cheaper or harmful substances. Then there's the issue of substituted plant species, where a different, often less effective or even harmful plant is sold as the genuine herb. We also see herbs that have been artificially colored or treated to appear more appealing, but this can compromise their quality and safety. Another problem is the use of inferior quality raw materials. These are herbs that may look similar but are of lower quality, impacting their effectiveness. Expired or contaminated herbal materials are also a concern, as they pose health risks. And sometimes, synthetic additives are mixed with herbal powders to boost weight or appearance, but this can be misleading and dangerous. Now, why does adulteration happen? One common reason is economic gain. People want to make more money by cutting costs or adding cheaper substances. Shortages of genuine herbs also lead to this problem, especially when demand outpaces supply. Lack of proper qualification among suppliers and weak regulatory oversight are additional factors that contribute to the prevalence of fake herbal materials. Understanding these points is crucial because, as we move forward in this presentation, we'll see how these issues impact the safety and efficacy of herbal products and what we can do to identify and prevent them. Let's take a closer look at the regulatory perspective. When it comes to herbal raw materials, understanding the regulatory requirements is essential to ensure safety and efficacy. Starting with the Indian regulatory framework, we have the Drugs and Cosmetics Act of 1940, which forms the foundation for regulation. Alongside that, the Drugs and Cosmetics Rules of 1945 provide detailed guidelines. For herbal products specifically, the AYUSH guidelines play a crucial role, emphasizing traditional practices and safety standards. Good manufacturing practices, or GMP, are also critical to maintain quality during production. Additionally, the Ayurvedic Pharmacopoeia of India, or API, sets standards for herbal drug quality and identification. Now, moving beyond India, we see international guidelines that influence how herbal medicines are regulated worldwide. The WHO has guidelines on good agricultural and collection practices, or GACP, which focus on sourcing quality raw materials. They also have broader guidelines for herbal medicines to ensure consistency and safety. In the United States, the FDA provides botanical guidance, setting standards for herbal ingredients used in supplements and medicines. And in Europe, the Pharmacopoeia standards help regulate herbal products to ensure they meet safety and quality benchmarks. So, what do regulators expect from manufacturers? The key point is that manufacturers must thoroughly verify the identity, purity, and quality of every raw material. Traceability is also vital, being able to track each ingredient from source to finished product. Overall, these regulations and guidelines work together to safeguard consumers and uphold the integrity of herbal products in the global market. Now, let's discuss the major concerns associated with herbal adulteration. Adulterated herbs can pose serious risks, including toxicity, therapeutic failure, and even regulatory action against manufacturers. It's important to understand the various forms this adulteration can take. First, there's substitution, where a cheaper or less effective species is replaced intentionally. For example, ashoka might be replaced with polyalthea, which isn't the genuine herb. Then, we have admixture, which involves mixing herbs with foreign matter like sand, starch, or fillers. These can compromise the quality and safety of the product. Another form is artificial enhancement, where dyes or chemicals are added to improve appearance but can be harmful. Colored turmeric powder is a common example. There's also the issue of exhausted drugs, where previously used herbal material, like spent herbal powder, is reused to cut costs, but this can reduce efficacy and safety. Lastly, synthetic addition involves adding pharmaceuticals such as steroids into herbal formulations, which can be dangerous and lead to serious health issues. Overall, these are some common forms of adulteration seen in herbal raw materials, and recognizing them is key to ensuring safety and efficacy in herbal products. Now, let's explore the visual and organoleptic identification methods, focusing on primary techniques used in material verification. First, we have organoleptic evaluation, which involves using our senses, color, odor, taste, texture, and even shape and size, to identify materials. These are practical, immediate checks that can give us quick clues about authenticity or quality. For example, noticing a specific color or scent can often tell us a lot about a sample without needing complex tests. Next, we have macroscopic examination. This is more about visually inspecting larger features like leaf arrangement, root structure, bark characteristics, and seed structure. These features are crucial because they provide more detailed insights into the material's identity and origin. Now, why are these methods important? Well, they serve as the first-line screening tools for detecting fake or adulterated materials. They're quick, cost-effective, and widely used in raw material inspection. By mastering these techniques, we can effectively filter out suspicious samples early in the process, ensuring that only genuine materials proceed further into quality control. This approach ties into our overall goal of maintaining high standards and preventing counterfeit products from entering the supply chain. Now, let's take a closer look at microscopic identification and how microscopy-based authentication plays a crucial role. When we evaluate samples microscopically, we're examining several key features. For example, we look at cellular structures to understand the tissue organization. Stomata analysis helps us identify the plant's epidermal features, while trichome identification reveals the presence of hair-like structures that can be unique to certain species. We also analyze starch grain patterns, which can be quite distinctive, and calcium oxalate crystals, whose shapes and arrangements provide further clues. Additionally, fiber arrangements are evaluated to differentiate plant materials. One of the biggest advantages of this method is that it helps us differentiate closely related species, which might look very similar to the naked eye but have subtle microscopic differences. It's especially useful for powdered herbal materials, where traditional visual identification isn't possible. Plus, microscopy is a cost-effective way to ensure quality control. From a regulatory perspective, I want to highlight that microscopy is recommended in pharmacopoeial monographs for authenticating herbal materials. This underscores its importance and reliability in maintaining standards across the industry. So, overall, microscopic evaluation is a powerful, detailed tool that supports accurate identification and quality assurance in herbal medicine. Let's talk about physicochemical testing and why it's a crucial part of laboratory quality evaluation. This involves assessing key parameters that tell us a lot about the quality and consistency of herbal products. Some of the common physicochemical parameters we look at include moisture content, which helps us understand the water present in the sample. Ash values give us insight into the mineral content and possible impurities. Extractive values inform us about the amount of active constituents that can be extracted with solvents, and pH determination helps us gauge the acidity or alkalinity, which can affect stability and absorption. Lastly, volatile oil content is important, especially for products with aromatic or essential oil components. The main purpose of conducting these tests is to detect any impurities or adulteration that could compromise safety or efficacy. They also help us evaluate the product's consistency and purity, ensuring each batch meets quality standards. Importantly, these tests support compliance with pharmacopoeial standards, which are essential for regulatory approval. Speaking of regulations, it's vital that testing is performed according to validated procedures and aligns with pharmacopoeial standards. This ensures the reliability of our results and the overall quality of the herbal medicines we produce. Ultimately, these physicochemical tests are an integral part of maintaining high-quality standards and ensuring that our products are safe, pure, and effective for consumers. Now, let's take a closer look at some of the advanced authentication techniques we use in the industry. When it comes to common analytical techniques, we have a few key methods. First, there's thin layer chromatography, or TLC, which is a straightforward way to separate and identify compounds. Building on that, we have high-performance thin layer chromatography, or HPTLC, which offers higher resolution and sensitivity. Then there's high-performance liquid chromatography, HPLC, a powerful technique for analyzing complex mixtures with great precision. Gas chromatography, or GC, is particularly useful for volatile compounds. And finally, FTIR spectroscopy, which helps us identify chemical structures based on their infrared absorption patterns. These techniques provide several important benefits. They allow us to create chemical fingerprints of herbs, which helps in authenticating their identity. They also enable us to detect substitution or contamination, ensuring the integrity of herbal products. Additionally, they help in identifying marker compounds, which are specific indicators of a particular herb's quality. In terms of industry application, these methods are widely used in regulatory submissions to meet compliance standards. They are also essential in quality assurance programs, helping manufacturers maintain high standards and verify the authenticity of their products. Overall, these advanced analytical techniques are vital for ensuring the safety, efficacy, and authenticity of herbal and natural products in the marketplace. Let's delve into DNA barcoding and molecular techniques as modern approaches to authentication. These methods are transforming how we verify herbal products and ensure their authenticity. First, DNA-based methods encompass several key techniques. DNA barcoding, for instance, uses specific genetic regions to identify plant species accurately. PCR analysis allows us to amplify targeted DNA sequences, making detection more precise. And molecular marker identification helps differentiate closely related species by examining genetic variations. Now, what are the advantages of these methods? Well, they offer highly accurate species identification, which is crucial, especially when dealing with processed or powdered materials where visual identification is impossible. They also detect substitution at a genetic level, ensuring authenticity and safety for consumers. However, there are limitations to consider. These techniques can be costly, requiring sophisticated equipment and expertise. Not all laboratories are equipped for this kind of analysis, which can be a barrier in some regions. Looking ahead, the future scope is promising. DNA authentication is increasingly gaining acceptance, particularly for high-value herbal products. It provides a reliable way to assure quality and authenticity in the industry, aligning with the growing demand for safer and more transparent herbal medicines. So, in summary, DNA-based methods are powerful tools in our authentication arsenal, offering accuracy and reliability, though they do come with some challenges. As technology advances, their adoption is likely to expand, strengthening the integrity of herbal product supply chains. When it comes to the safety evaluation of herbal raw materials, there are some key parameters we need to focus on. First, heavy metal testing is crucial because metals like lead, mercury, and cadmium can accumulate in herbs and pose serious health risks. Next, pesticide residue analysis helps us ensure that harmful chemicals used in farming haven't contaminated the raw materials. Aflatoxin testing is also essential because these toxins, produced by molds, can be extremely dangerous if present in herbs. And of course, microbial limit testing helps us confirm that the materials are free from harmful microorganisms that could cause infections or spoilage. From a regulatory perspective, the main goal is making sure that our raw materials are free from toxic contaminants, pathogenic microorganisms, and harmful chemical residues. That's not just about meeting legal requirements, it's about protecting consumers and maintaining trust in our products. The impact of failing to control these safety parameters can be serious. Contaminated materials can lead to product recalls, which are costly and damage our reputation. Plus, regulatory penalties can be severe, affecting our ability to bring products to market. So, thorough testing isn't just a regulatory box to check. It's a vital part of ensuring safety, quality, and the overall integrity of our herbal products. Let's take a closer look at supplier qualification and traceability, which are critical for maintaining a robust supply chain control. First, the supplier qualification process involves several key steps. We conduct vendor audits to assess their capabilities and compliance. We also have supplier approval systems to ensure only qualified vendors are engaged. Reviewing documentation thoroughly is essential to verify their processes, and establishing clear quality agreements helps set expectations and responsibilities right from the start. Moving on to traceability requirements, these are vital for tracking our products throughout the entire supply chain. We implement batch numbering to uniquely identify each production lot. Source documentation provides the origin details, ensuring transparency. Harvest records help us trace raw materials back to their source, and transportation records give us visibility into the movement of goods from harvest to manufacturing. Now, under GMP requirements, complete traceability must be maintained from the very source all the way to the finished product. This comprehensive tracking ensures accountability, quality, and safety across the entire process. It's about creating a transparent chain so that, if any issue arises, we can quickly identify and address it, reinforcing our commitment to quality and compliance. Now, let's look at some of the key regulatory challenges we face in authenticating herbal raw materials. One major issue is the similar appearance of different plant species, which can easily lead to misidentification. This not only affects quality, but also safety. Another challenge is the lack of standardized supply chains, making it difficult to trace the origin and ensure consistency. Seasonal variability also plays a role, as the availability and potency of herbs can change throughout the year. Additionally, many online raw material suppliers operate without proper regulation, increasing the risk of adulteration and substandard products. Smaller industries often lack the testing facilities necessary for thorough quality checks, which hampers their ability to authenticate raw materials effectively. Moreover, there's generally limited awareness among traders and collectors about the importance of proper authentication, which further complicates the issue. Addressing these challenges requires a clear industry need: the development of standardized authentication protocols. We also need stronger surveillance systems to monitor and regulate the supply chain more effectively. Lastly, capacity building through training programs is essential to equip all stakeholders with the knowledge and tools they need to ensure authenticity and safety. These steps are crucial as we work towards a more reliable and trustworthy herbal industry. Now, let's talk about some best practices for industry risk mitigation and quality assurance. These are essential for ensuring the safety and consistency of our products. First, it's crucial to procure materials from certified suppliers. This helps us trust the quality right from the start. Next, Following good agricultural and collection practices, or GACP, ensures that the raw materials are grown and harvested under optimal conditions. Using pharmacopoeial standards for authentication is also vital. These standards serve as our benchmark for verifying the identity and quality of the materials we use. Implementing validated testing methods ensures that our quality checks are accurate and reliable. Complete documentation is another key point. It allows us to trace every step of the process, which is critical for accountability and continuous improvement. Regular supplier audits are necessary to verify ongoing compliance and maintain high standards. And of course, training our procurement and quality control teams ensures everyone understands these practices and applies them effectively. The main goal here is to prevent adulteration, meaning we want to avoid any contamination or tampering, and to ensure that our products are consistently of high quality. By integrating these practices into our processes, we can build trust with our consumers and uphold our reputation in the industry. Let's wrap up with some key takeaways. First, fake herbal raw materials pose significant risks, not just to safety, but also to efficacy and regulatory compliance. It's crucial that we can accurately authenticate these materials. To do that, we need a combination of traditional methods and advanced analytical techniques. This helps us ensure the authenticity and quality of the herbs we use. Regulatory agencies around the world are very strict about quality control and traceability systems. Meeting these standards isn't optional. It's essential for market access and consumer trust. That's why effective supplier qualification and implementing good manufacturing practices, or GMP, are so critical. They help us maintain consistent quality and reduce risks. Finally, scientific validation and continuous monitoring are vital for gaining global acceptance of herbal products. These steps build confidence in the product's safety and efficacy, and they support the long-term success of herbal medicine in the market. So, in summary, rigorous authentication, strict quality systems, and ongoing validation are the pillars that support safe, effective, and compliant herbal products worldwide. Let's take a moment to look at the references that underpin the information we've discussed today. First, we have the WHO Guidelines on Herbal Medicines, which provide global standards for safety, quality, and efficacy. These guidelines are essential for harmonizing practices across different regions. Next, the Ayurvedic Pharmacopoeia of India serves as a vital resource specific to the standards and quality control of Ayurvedic herbs and formulations. Then, there's the Drugs and Cosmetics Act of 1940, a foundational law in India that regulates the manufacturing, labeling, and sale of drugs, including herbal medicines, ensuring consumer safety. The Ministry of AYUSH guidelines further support this framework by setting specific policies and standards for traditional systems of medicine in India, promoting quality and consistency. We also consider the WHO GACP guidelines, good agricultural and collection practices, which are crucial for ensuring the quality of raw herbal materials from farm to harvest. Lastly, scientific publications on herbal authentication and adulteration play a critical role in advancing our understanding, helping us detect adulterants and maintain the integrity of herbal products. Connecting all these references back to our overall theme, they highlight the importance of standardized practices, legal regulations, and scientific research in ensuring that herbal medicines are safe, effective, and trustworthy for patients worldwide. For further support, please don't hesitate to reach out. If you have any questions or need additional information, I'm here to help. You can contact us through the details provided, and we'll be happy to assist you. Thank you so much for your time and attention today. We truly appreciate your interest and engagement.